Now, this is the new Asrock Z270 Extreme for motherboard for the new generation of Intel Kaby Lake processors. Now, Asrock has been, or I would say Asrock has done really well for the Z170 series motherboard for the previous Skylake processor series. And you know what? I can't wait to see what's in the box right now. Let's go do some unboxing, man. Now, first things first, how does this motherboard look like? Well, I like the whole white color scheme, you know, and in fact, it would really appeal for those who actually want to build sort of a whitish setup when building the new Kaby Lake rig. Now, this motherboard obviously supports the new Z270 chipset for the new lineup of Kaby Lake processors, and it obviously also supports the 6th gen Intel processors, which is the Skylake one as well. So do not worry, if you have the Skylake one, this does fit perfectly well as well. Now, with its whole ATX form factor, this also fits into any mainstream ATX cases like the Masterbox 5, the Define R5, or any ATX cases out there lah, like even the TechWare Alpha as well. Now, this motherboard also supports up to 64GB of RAM and a maximum of approximately 3866 MHz on overclock. Now, Asrock sort of also included this whole Purity Soundforce solution, which sort of builds or revolves around this whole Realtek codec. Now, this thing also has this thing called a PCB isolation shielding. Now, if I'm not mistaken, what it does is sort of reduces the amount of interference so that it leads to a much higher level of audio quality or audio fidelity. And as per usual, of course, high-end Nichicon Gold series capacitors were also used to provide a much more cleaner and reliable sound quality. Now, there are two NVMe capable M2 slots that each of them share two HSIO resources with SATA 6GB ports. Now, this also means that if you were to install two M2 drives, it sort of eliminates 4 out of the 8 SATA ports. So you can sort of have like 3 super fast NVMe drives and 4 SATA drives installed, but 2 of the SATA drives, if I'm not mistaken, will be shared bandwidth about a single 5GB pathway. So correct me if I'm wrong and leave some comments in the comment section below, man. Now, what you also get is a 2-lane USB 3.1 controller that's sort of linked to both Type-C and Type-A ports, and you also get an extra single-lane SATA 2-port controller, and also the empty antenna jack that's sort of like hidden behind this whole M2 adapter slot, which you can see in the video right now. Now, there are also 2 PCIe X16 slots that sort of share lanes, but they're still trimmed in whole stainless steel and stuff. Now, this is really good if you're using really huge graphics card as well, you know. So what it does physically, it sort of supports or give a much more stronger support for your bigger graphics card like the Strix 1070. Especially graphics card that come with 3 fans. They are sort of like much bigger compared to the single or 2 fan ones as well. So this really is a big plus for this motherboard or any other motherboard that has a stainless steel brace. And I think it also does provide a certain level of isolation and stuff like that. So correct me if I'm wrong again, man, in the comments section below. Yeah, well, I sort of thought the IO shield feels or looks a bit cheapish and stuff like that, but again, you know what, who gives a shit about an IO shield? It's just an IO shield, it does its job. But if you really want to know, it doesn't actually come with any paddings behind, so just bear that in mind if you're going to purchase this motherboard. Now, you know, I've always sort of been a fan of the Z170 Pro 4 motherboard. It's actually one of my most favorite budget-friendly motherboard on the Skylake processor. You can overclock and do stuff. And of course, with this whole new lineup, they're a bit of a budget cut here and there, like, if I'm not mistaken, you know. They're like a lack of numeric postcode display, there's no XMP switch, there's no onboard power, and there's no reset button as well. Now, if this is a big of a deal for you, just take note, man, you can go find another motherboard that probably has a numeric postcode display and stuff like that. But honestly, I sort of don't give a shit about it. If I'm looking for a motherboard that comes with value for money, then I'll probably get this motherboard, man, but our opinions may actually differ. Unfortunately, I'm unable to boot up the motherboard simply because I do not have a Skylake or a Kaby Lake processor. Well, I do have a 2011 socket, and if I were to put that in, heck, a Sony PlayStation boot screen may just appear, man. So donations are very much welcome. But you know what, overall, if you're on the lookout for a Z270 motherboard and you want reliability and decent past good track records and stuff, I would recommend this motherboard, man. I know you don't have all this XMP switch, you don't have a numeric code power postcode display or whatever, you know, but it goes for about 900 to 950 bucks. So if I'm, in my opinion, for a Z270 motherboard at this point of time, it is quite worth it. But I sort of recommend if you give eTech PC a call as well. If you want a quote, you might get it cheaper if you know how to slow talk them and stuff like that. So I'll leave that to you. Alright guys, that's that's all I have for this little video, man. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. Now, if you dislike this video, give me a big thumbs down too, but let me know why as well in the comment section below. Now, hit the subscribe button if you have not. If you have already done it, thank you so much. Now, of course, if you have anything else that you want to email me, you can email me at mindgamebestgiller@gmail.com. It simply means playing games are awesome, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.